Alrighty, welcome to episode 2 of the Falic Exchange. Tonight, I discuss my prowess on the Airsoft field, Aku discusses his inability to lie as the imposter, and we finally discover which lucky celebrity out there has Valic's heart. I am your hostess with the mostest, and I am joined as always by Valic and Aku of the Falic Empire. Sit down, clench your butt cheeks, and enjoy the show. Welcome, guys, let's get started. All right. So the first thing on our topic list here today is going off of the whole social gaming trend that's going on right now. We saw a huge rise with Fall Guys. It was a big game. There was a lot of Twitter hype about it. A lot of Twitch hype about it. It was the most viewed game for a while.
That game.
I still don't have a crown yet. And
I haven't played
so
it much in a long time either.
what I want to talk about is kind of how that game got so big, why it got so big, and then how it fell and got really replaced by Among Us over the past few months, and kind of where we see that whole trend going. So, for those of you out there who don't know, Fall Guys is it's an indie game where you are trying. It's basically a battle royale, but with like wipeout type mechanics, where you are, you're just going through a big obstacle course. But you do it with friends. It's a lot of fun. It's also infuriating, despite how much of a child's game it looks like.
For how simple it is, you get real bad real quick.
I don't think any
It's
of us.
not infuriating at all. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think any of us have gotten a win in that game yet. But
I should have,
Josh-
but didn't know how it worked,
Josh-
and I felt real
Josh,
bad.
My roommate didn't almost die from falling debris in the basement because how not infuriating it is.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as that game, I think one of the things as why that got so big is right now, especially during the whole COVID era and everything going on with streaming, people aren't able to just go out and hang out with their friends, and a lot of people are starting to get bored of watching the typical shooters and a lot of the drama and the intense moments that go along with that. So we're starting to see more of a trend of people enjoying playing games like that where you could have a little bit more people, especially Among Us now, with up to 10 people in a party. It allows for a lot more content creation. It's not as heavily reliant on things happening in the game as it is on the personalities of the people who are playing it. So I think we're seeing an interesting trend right now, which we're kind of coining the social gaming trend. So kind of tell me what are some of your guys' thoughts on that? Where do you see that going? Do you see, Among Us being a game that kind of falls out soon? What do you think it'll be replaced by?
Well, so I want to bring up Fall Guys first.
Okay.
I think that it's a good game, and I know that people still stream it.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously not as big as it was before. However, I think the reason that one caught on was because it was so infuriating and it was so basic that anyone could play it.
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell my sister, "Hey, I know you don't play video games, but come play this. It's easy to play." But it is also the fact that you can never ever get a crown unless you played it religiously.
Yeah. Or just got really lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
And it was glitchy too, but that was also part of it too, though.
yeah.
Like people enjoyed it because as much as I hate getting mad, it also is entertaining.
It makes good content.
Yeah.
For sure, it
does
makes
make
good content.
Yeah, there was our buddy Kyle we were playing with got hit by one of the propellers for like 5 minutes straight. It was pretty solid.
I had one of those clips where I literally
happened
got
to me
hit
too,
9
yeah.
times in a row. I was in the
Yeah.
air for like 30 seconds. It was ridiculous. So,
Well, but like some of that game was infuriating just because of how like I don't want to say laggy, but like latency differences between players
yes.
was frustrating. Because I have a solid clip of me raging at the end of a tail tag game because I had it all the
I
way
hated
to the
that
end. I
game.
even paused it and showed the counter saying 0 seconds left,
Mm-hmm.
and then somehow somebody manages to take it. Like I was like, I got this, and then the thing ends and it says eliminated, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
So like,
There was a clip on Reddit of a guy who jumped at the crown mountain or whatever it was called.
yeah.
He literally ran, jumped, and grabbed the crown, and then it said eliminated. And the
Yeah.
guy who was a substantial little bit of a distance behind him jumped and got it. Like it was just it was a latency difference where the guy was
Right.
actually in the lead, but it didn't show it in the guy who lost's view.
Yeah.
Like there were
Yeah.
definitely some
Oh.
issues there. But
So like
real
Rocket
quick,
League, when
on-
you're like, oh, I had that ball, and then it's like, oh wait, no, and
yeah,
the
it just
replay apparently
ghosts
I
right through your car.
Yeah. So on
Absolutely.
Fall Mountain, real quick. So this is back when I didn't know how to play the game all that much, and I was just running through shit. I was in first, running up the mountain, and I thought you just had to get there. I didn't know you had to jump and grab onto the thing that was going up and down. So I just got to the
remember
top
that.
and action leaped off, and then fell down, and I was like, "What?
Yep.
Why didn't I win?
I remember that. You were not happy.
I
So,
was not pleased."
yeah, but like just to show kind of some perspective. So typically the I'm looking at Twitch right now. When you go through the browse, like just chatting pretty much always has the most viewers because it's just a hodgepodge of a bunch of different things. And right now the second highest category is Call of Duty because the new season just came out. That has 313,000 viewers. Among Us, even like 2 or 3 months later, is still sitting at over 300,000 viewers. It's the third most
Wow.
popular thing on Twitch right now.
So
That is similar to where Fall Guys was. Now Fall Guys is all the way down the list with 12,000 viewers.
Mhm. So let me put in some perspective into that. So the biggest thing you'll see on every single stream when you see Among Us
Mm-hmm.
is community games,
Exactly.
viewer games, subscriber games.
Mm-hmm.
It is a perfect game for content creators because not only are you playing with your community, but you also get to talk to your community in a Discord. And so, like, for example, let's say, Tim the Tapman was like, yeah, we're doing subscriber games, and I just so happened to get picked to play with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the Discord talking to Tim the Tapman.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one of those things where you're like almost starstruck, I want to say, in a way. But it's an easy way to get to that point,
Yeah.
And the other good big thing about it too is like a lot of these shooter games, you have 3-4 person squads or whatever, and yeah, you'll see 3 or 4 streamers playing together all the time. Like that's pretty common. But to get 10 of them in the same room, now that's
Yeah.
something that people want to see.
That's the thing is you get 10 different, like normally you're seeing 3 or 4 different personalities interact, but now I mean we're seeing some big teams of people playing with, and it's like it's not something that we've really seen in the streaming industry. So I think it offers a lot of diversity when it comes to collaborating. You get a lot of different streamers that maybe don't get to talk to each other that much or play games that much because they all have their own groups. So like the 3 of us all play Apex a lot together, or I'll play with Nova or someone, but like we don't play with like Jack, or we don't play with Ginger or any of them that much because we all kind of have our own groups. Not that we don't like playing together, but we all have our groups that we play with. A game like that allows those people to interact. So I think I do think that eventually we will see Among Us go downhill and be replaced by something, but I think it's going to have to be something along the same lines where you could still have 6 or more people all in a group together and talking and interacting and developing content that's kind of independent of the gameplay.
Yeah,
Right,
and
and
another big thing about the two. Sorry, let me get this out real quick. The other big difference I think is Fall Guys was good and it was fun because people raged and all that. But and I know I haven't played it in a while, but I think they did start to randomize the maps a little bit more. But for a while there, it was the same like 12 maps, and it's like, all right, we've seen all this before.
Yeah.
And even though there's only like 4 Among Us maps, like the strategies to play that, you're gonna have a different game every time. And that's probably why it's a lot more enticing for people to watch because it is going to be dramatically different each time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to bring up also, like so one thing, as much as I hate to say it, the one thing Warzone has going for it is that they keep on adding content and changing things up.
They do.
So that's why people keep on playing it. Now, if Among Us keeps on doing that, and let's say they add a new map or they add a new mechanic or a different game mode or something like that, then I think they have a chance of lasting. So, it's just I think they need to keep on adding to it because they got something there. They have a formula that works. They have something that's going on that's going right, and it's still, like you said, 300,000 people right now are watching it, and it's because you get to see the real content creators as people and not just as someone behind, playing a video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
just because if you can point and click real good, so people want to watch that. But this involves like some strategy and some personality, and especially if you are the imposter, right? You got to bullshit your way out of situations. So you see that kind of creativity and on the spot kind of improv stuff that I'm terrible at come out to play.
yeah,
I've been told by 3 or 4 content creators when I've played with them that, and this is what they said. They were like, "Yeah, you're probably one of the best imposters we've ever had because you did shit that imposters shouldn't do."
well, that's it. You got to
I'm like,
think like you're not an imposter. You just kill
oh, exactly.
people on the way. Yeah. And to that the point you made earlier about how things, how the games update, and Fall Guys I think just took too long to make changes and update things. I feel a lot of games fall into that trap as well. If you look at, I mean, historically, the best, biggest stream games out there have been, you mentioned Warzone, but also even Fortnite as well. They're always getting new events going, new limited time modes, new partnerships, everything like that. That's one of the ways that Apex fell off so hard. And even look at Valorant. I mean,
100%.
Valorant and Apex are both right around 40,000 viewers. And that's where they've been for a while. Whereas Apex started off huge, but it took them way too long to actually make changes and adapt and grow, which baffled me because it was the next big battle royale after Fortnite, and all they had to do was take the Fortnite model of constantly updating and bringing new things, even new cosmetics, a battle pass, stuff like that, and they took like 8 or 9 months to do that.
If they just split the battle passes up into level 1 to 50 as opposed to 1 to 100, dropped the season timing down a bit, and then you just changed it more often, that would have enticed people. Like right now we're in season 6 of Apex, and that came out an entire year before Warzone, and Warzone is also already on its season 6 as of yesterday,
and they're killing it.
So right, like I don't like Warzone as much. I'm not as good as the Call of Duty type games. I think the movement's a little slow. We're not going to get into that. That's not what this conversation is about. But like, it's doing well because they just have more stuff, I guess.
Yeah. And that's where, so I am somewhat hopeful for the future of Among Us because for any of you who do not know, they had planned to focus all of their attention on creating a second Among Us. Well, they recently made an announcement that they were canceling that, which I think is a good idea because the whole social trend, I think it's a bad idea to put all of your eggs into that basket when it might not be a thing. Instead, they decided that they're going to keep focusing on delivering new and impactful stuff into Among Us, the one that's out now, which I think is a really good idea because that will allow them to make new maps, bring out new tasks, even new cosmetics, stuff like that. Like I would totally do like a battle pass type thing for Among Us. Like it would be great because the cosmetics are hysterical in that game. Like I love running around as like the Russian KGB guy.
They need to make more customized like lobbies. So like add more than 10 people. I think would be a good one.
I think that would maybe be a little tough, but I hear you.
You get to, so like let's say you want to be the imposter, like you before the game starts you click a button saying, hey, I'd like to be the imposter, and then it randomizes it, because like there was the other night I played like 4 or 5 games and I was never the imposter, not once. Actually, I think I played more than that.
It is a little buggy like that sometimes. Like, I mean, when you're doing a random number generator out of only 10 people, the odds of it not picking you, it gets worse obviously as you have more people. So having some way to like opt in, as I enjoy being the imposter, whereas people like me who are terrible at it and enjoy the other game side of the game of trying to figure out who it is, then you can opt out. Then it's a feature that doesn't hurt it in any way because you can either just not check anything and have it be normal, or you can opt in or out either way and enhance the type of style you like playing that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
I also think leaderboards would be a cool thing to have too.
Yeah, and some of the things that people have been asking about, like they just released some patch notes not that long ago talking about what they're going to be doing. They're going to be adding major server improvements, which is a one of my major gripes. Like, you go into the game and it's like a half hour before you're actually able to finally get everyone together into a server.
Right.
They're adding
They did fix a
colorblind.
lot, though, to be fair.
Yeah, they got better. They just weren't expecting the game to get as huge as it did. 'Cause
Right.
It
I
had
mean,
been out for 2
for those people who
years.
don't know, the game's been out right exactly since 2018, so it's been
Yeah.
out for a hot minute, and all
I
of a
could-
sudden they like blinked, and so, like, I don't know who found it, which streamer made it popular again, but like it went from I've never heard of it to everybody's playing this game now overnight, essentially, and so
I
they're
could-
probably like, my server's on fire, someone send help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I can imagine being a server engineer and sitting
is
there with
fine.
like just like a little screen to the left, and like it just has the statistics. But also now out of nowhere, you see everything turn red, and you see the traffic increase. You're like, wait, what? Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, I made this analogy recently, and I don't remember what it was about, but it's like the guy staring at the science screen in a lab in like every alien movie ever, right? Where he's this guy by himself sitting in some bunker, and he's just like, and then all of a sudden something on the screen goes beep, and he's just like, fuck.
Yeah, pretty much. So the other things that they mentioned that so colorblind support. I'm not colorblind, but that's great for people who are. The two
Well,
main
that's
things
huge, right? Because
that
some
I
of
think
the big things people do in that game are call out colors because they're a lot easier to memorize than
Yeah,
than
absolutely.
names. So if you change like skin patterns or something to help those people play the game, that's great.
definitely.
Ooh, what they really need to add is in-voice chat or in-game chat, like voice.
That so I don't think that that's as
Especially
much of
for
an
mobile.
issue because people are usually just getting in Discord. It would also add a lot of burden onto their servers then too, I think.
Yeah.
But they did confirm that they're adding an in-game friend system, which I think is huge,
Ooh, that's
and that
cool.
they are definitely
that's
coming
cool.
out with a new map soon, a 4th map. So I think that's definitely going to help the game stay relevant. So yeah, so on the subject here, moving on there from kind of that, I'm definitely hoping to see the games grow, and I'm interested to see what the next big game will be. But on the subject of kind of the content creation and the streaming and stuff like that, I want to talk quickly about the setups that we have and some of our aspirations. What's kind of the next thing that we're planning on getting to improve the stream a little bit in order to deliver better content and etc. So Falic, what would you say your next big stream purchase is going to be?
Well, so I haven't purchased it technically. It's like won a contest, but I'm getting a new desk and a new chair.
Nice.
So minus that, it's not going to be here for like another month though. But minus that, I think probably it will be upgrading my gaming PC.
Okay.
Because right now, as we all looked at it, my processor is absolute crap.
Yeah.
Which is
so
fine
wonder-
for gaming. It doesn't really affect a ton.
Mhm.
But I like to edit videos. I like to do a lot of After Effects stuff and all
Depends
that.
on the game.
And
too.
you guys watched it. It
Yeah.
takes forever to do
Oh, yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it was like a
And it
30-second
just drives me
video. It
nuts.
took 3 hours. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm half tempted to use my stream PC because it has the new AMD.
Yeah.
In it.
It'd probably
I
be
didn't think
better.
about that.
Yeah. Well, that's so like myself. I'm debating. So I'm kind of torn between two things. Like the next thing that I'm definitely looking to get is going to be a better camera. So right now my camera's pretty decent, but it's a Hero 5, the black edition from GoPro. I did recently buy the Hero 9, but it doesn't have an HDMI output, so I can't actually use it as a stream camera, which is kind of annoying. But aside from that, though, I'm probably going to look at maybe like the Sony, the A6400, which is a really good like stream and vlogging camera as well. Like it does 4K. It's a solid
coworker
camera.
of mine has that, and
Yeah.
we did a video chat for work,
Yeah,
and it looked crispy.
it's
it was
super nice.
It's
Like-
like mine. I mean, mine's maybe a little screwed up right now because of lighting, but
Yeah, and like
they
with
look real clean.
just like base, it's like 700, but like with the nice lens and stuff like that, it'd probably be about $1,000. But the other thing I'm considering is once the 3080s are a little bit more purchasable, just buying a 3080 and one of the Ryzen 9s, and then selling my 1660 and my Ryzen 5, and then also just flat out selling my gaming computer, which has a 2070 in it, and just running a single PC setup with a 3080 and a Ryzen 9, which will more than handle 1440, not 1440, 144 FPS, which is really all I need, along with handling the stream. So What about you, Aku?
I did want to mention, well, really quick. I do want to mention I also pick up a Cam Link
There you
because
go.
what I have right now cannot do 4K, and I have a 4K camera, so I'm kind of wasting it.
Yeah. It's hard to deliver quality OnlyFans content in 1080p. Can't really see the crack. Can't really see the cracks in the feet, you know. Anyway, Aku, what about you? Aside from setting up the stream deck I gave you.
Yeah, I gotta do that. It's sitting right here in front of me.
Still,
not plugged
wait,
in.
hold on. It's been a month and you still haven't done that?
Dude, look, not everybody can spend all day sitting at their computers doing stuff. So in my limited window
You
of
do
stuff, I'm
anyways.
playing the game. No, I'm playing the game. Or doing actual work. I haven't felt like trying to pull my desk away from the wall and detailing wires to figure out what to plug in where. I've got a nice USB powered port right there, but when I plug it in, it's telling me I'm running out of USB things on the computer side
Yeah,
for
you
it
don't
to
have
handle
enough
it. I
resources.
can figure out which ones to plug in where, and I'm lazy.
So
I'll get to it.
You want to learn After Effects, but you won't set up your goddamn.
Nah, you saw that last post.
maybe
I said, "Fuck this,
maybe
it's
the
way too
next
hard."
big stream purchase will be a USB hub.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have one right here. It just doesn't
Well,
work because I
apparently
plug it in too many. I don't know. I don't know which side
How
of
much was
things
it?
is
10
wrong.
bucks?
No. I also don't remember because it was a long time ago. It's powered. What do you want me to say?
It is powered. Like, say it's plugged into the
Yes.
wall. And it's
Yes.
still doing that. That's weird.
Interesting.
Yes, it's
So anyway.
I don't know if there's just too many USBs plugged in at once and it's a motherboard problem or something. I have no idea. I don't know how any of this stuff works.
I don't know. So what?
But it wasn't the last thing plugged into it. There are 2 open spots, and I plugged it into one of the 2 open spots, and it was like, no.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know. Maybe we can get that figured out at some point.
Yeah,
Aside from
I
that,
have
though,
a-
what are you thinking?
I'll get. I don't know. I haven't really thought about buying anything new for a while, just because there's a lot of other stuff
Lighting.
personally we're trying to stay up. Yeah, maybe a light or two. I have a nice light right here behind the second monitor just to make this a little bit brighter. I don't particularly like having lights in my face though. My eyeballs don't like it, so like a
Mhm.
big direct light in my face balls will just piss me off the whole time.
Fair enough.
But
You
a
get
light
used to
for
it. That's why I
that
put it
would
to the
be
side.
a light for that would be a little bit better. It's probably not the best quality right now. It's not so bad in game when it's a little bit smaller. You don't really see kind of the static that I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
So maybe that I think will probably be the quickest and cheapest thing.
Okay.
I mean, the wife and I are also always, trying to figure out when we can afford to just buy an entire new house
Yeah.
instead of the condo that I'm currently in. So that's like kind of the biggest
Fair enough.
dream purchase because I want to put myself in a nice finished basement where it's not the extreme temperatures that it's in, because right now I'm in the room up above the garage, so in the wintertime it's frozen tundra and in the summertime it's hotter than Satan's testicles. So
Fair enough.
I'd like to be underground where it's kind of the same temperature the whole time.
There you go. All right. Well, on the you mentioned the lights making you rage insanely and not being a fan there. What next topic here is name something that makes you rage every time it happens. What would that be, Aku?
It's gonna sound kind of I don't know how to never mind. Anyway, so
Just say
it
it.
bothers me a lot because it happens to me all the time on the way home from work, because to get onto my street on the way home I have to make a left turn at a light, and I hate every time that people who are, if you're at a light and you need to turn left, so you're in that left turn lane, and then people who are on the right side of you, so heading from right to left, are making the left to go on the opposite direction of the street you're on, and put their entire car through the left turn lane while they're making the turn. Pisses me off
Okay.
every single time. Drive around the goddamn paint marker in the road. It is not hard.
Okay. What about you, Falic?
Well, I guess I'll do a quick car one just because it's easy. People who slow down way too much to make a turn,
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
or people who pull out in front of you when obviously you're gonna run into them if you don't brake.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Those are
that's
two
another
car
one.
ones.
Right,
Yep.
the person who pulls out in front of you and you have to slow down, but if they had just waited for you to pass, there's literally 0 cars behind you.
Yep.
Yep. So with you guys talking about cars, this one just kind of came to me, but the one that would piss me off every time is Jersey drivers. Coming from Pennsylvania, having to deal with them all the time, they're the worst. It's a worse state than Ohio, trust me.
Wait, RLCS?
Yeah, we were there, you saw.
Yeah.
But in all reality,
Well, I mean,
consistently,
I was in a coma in the back seat. But
that's fair. Consistently, more than anything else, the one thing that enrages me and makes me pissed off beyond belief, the people who watch me would even be able to tell you, is that fat fuck known as Gibraltar. Every time I run into his gigantic body and his stupid ass gun shield, that thing will take a full Kraber shot. It takes 2 wingman shots. You know how hard it is for me to hit 2 wingman shots on a normal, let alone the fact that 90 damage just got eaten? It is so annoying. And then he puts it away, and then he pulls it right back out. He's got the most OP ult in the game. He throws down a shield that lets him quick res people. It's ridiculous. And he takes less damage just because he has an eating disorder. It is the stupidest character in the game. I swear to God, I don't even want to know how many blowies he gave to devs in the back seat of the frickin' dev room at goddamn Origin and EA. But that character pisses me off beyond belief. So, yeah, there's
Which is
that.
funny because every time I play as him, it doesn't seem like I survive any longer.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's
Right? It's
stupid.
just like Pathfinders, right? You shoot at a Pathfinder, and it's like shooting at Swiss
He's a
cheese.
cheese
and you miss all the
grater.
time.
Like, yeah.
I play Pathfinder,
Just
and I
get
walk
lit
into a
up.
room, and I delete it.
Yeah. Speaking of speaking of people getting shot and deleted, for those of you who do not know, we just went and played Airsoft this past weekend. It was our first real outing during COVID as the Falic Empire there. How'd that go, Falic?
Well, the times I got shot were not when we were actually playing.
That's fair.
They were when I was going to adjust the target. They were when I was grabbing a beer. And they were also when someone didn't know how to keep their finger off the trigger. So...
Wasn't me this time.
No, it wasn't. Well, wait.
Nope.
No,
I
that
don't
wasn't
actually
you.
think he
It was-
shot you this weekend, really.
I did not.
Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure I only shot at Christian because he was on the other team, and that was it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I am no longer going to be a sniper
Yep. Mm-hmm.
because aiming down a sight like that with a full gear on and mask and all, it doesn't work.
Yep. It's
Are you
also
gonna
really
get
hard to
lazy
hit a
before our
moving
next one?
target when I haul ass to get the flag and haul ass back.
So
You-
this
you
fucking
need to lazy before the next one, so
Sorry.
you don't have to worry about your glasses fogging every 15 seconds.
Yeah. Well, so this guy, I'm a sniping and I'm sitting back in a bunch of bushes, and I have like maybe this much of a sight of where the flag is. Okay, I'm talking like a foot, radius, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'm looking, and I'm keep on looking to my right, looking to my left, and no one's there. All of a sudden, I see Fate's big, fat head through that little tiny space. And at first I thought it was Christian. And then I noticed, hey, he's sleeveless. Oh shit, that's Fate. So me in my ghillie suit that currently has about 10 pounds of sticks stuck in it, I try and run out of the woods, and by the time I get to the pathway, he's already halfway down back to his side of the frickin' map. And so I just lift my sniper and I aim and I shoot and I miss him by like that much. It was so close to your foot. I was, oh.
So where you were, you kind of had a hard time seeing me. So you're telling me that bad positioning isn't just something you do in video games?
Really?
Sorry, I had to. It was too easy.
If we want to talk about bad positioning, let's talk about a coup.
Hey man, I'm confident in my terrible ability. I jump out and try to shoot people, and then I die. It happens.
And that's exactly the issue. Is you jump out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I can't see if I'm also around a corner, so I gotta pop out so I can see.
you got to see
Peek.
with your ears.
That
But-
doesn't.
That too.
And so on top
No.
of going and playing Airsoft, relieving some stress, shooting at each other for a while, it was also really nice to just kind of getaway. I mean, we had our phones on us, but we didn't have the computers or any of that stuff. So I will say it was definitely nice to get away, be out in the middle of, nowhere next to, farms in the woods and just kind of relax.
In the middle of a giant windmill farm.
Yeah.
Oh my
it was
God.
nice
That
to just
was
get away and
screwed with my
relax.
head.
That was
Oh
awesome.
my God. So,
I liked it.
Screw with your head. I was
For real,
hammered
it
at
wasn't
5 a.m.
constant.
underneath it.
I didn't realize there were constant Boeing 747s flying through the air, and that's actually what that noise was. But
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was the whole freaking time.
Yeah, I drank a bottle of vodka and went with Christian and Katie and just chilled underneath it at the very base of it. You guys were in your tents asleep a while away from it. That's screwy.
But yeah,
looking up.
I was looking at, I was listening, I was sitting in my tent, like laying there. I'm like, geez, there are so many airplanes going around, and
Yeah.
what's going on? I'm like, and I look at the map, I'm like, there's no airports within 100 miles of this place.
Yeah.
no, it finally clicked when I sat down and listened to it, and it would like pulsate in like a very constant wave noise, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah. But it was definitely nice to get away, camp, relax, chill by a fire. I've
Oh, yeah.
roasted marshmallows using my rapier, so that was fun.
Yep.
For
That-
people that don't know, explain what a rapier is.
It's a musketeer sword, the long, pointy, thin sword that they use in like the musketeers, or they use. Well, pirates didn't. They used a thicker, actual bladed sword. But
Is that
yeah,
what- is that
I
what
just
Zorro
kind of.
used?
Sorry.
Is that what Zorro used?
Yes. So I just kind of have one in my car, just cause I'm me. And we didn't have a stick for the marshmallows, and I didn't feel like using an actual stick from the woods, because then you get like the schmegma from the sticks on your marshmallow. So I went and I got the rapier out of my car and just roasted marshmallows on it. It was great.
The what now? You have the what now?
The schmutz, the smegma from the stick. It's gonna get
Schmutz.
all up in
Good
your
word.
marshmallows. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, then also this guy decides that it'd be a good idea to light two marshmallows on fire, and then continuously spin his sword around.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Well, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I swear to God, if one of those comes flying off and hits me in the eye, I am going to murder you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was,
How else do you get him to stop burning?
Exactly. You just swing them around on a sword. But all right. So if everyone is ready here, we are going to get on to the long-awaited topic of conversation. Which celebrity out there, male and female, has Valic's heart?
Wait, why me?
We're going to go with you, and then we're going to hit a coup, and then we're going to hit me. This just makes you uncomfortable, so like we got to hit you first with it.
I gotta pull up my Instagram. I forget her name.
Clearly don't like her that much, then. Jeez.
Yeah, right?
Well,
Come on,
no,
dude.
she just became my crush recently.
Ah, okay. What is she from?
Oh, here we go. I found it. Constance Nunes. I don't know how you say it, but
Who is that?
she's in Rust Metal Garage or whatever. It's a show.
Oh,
on
it's
Netflix
one of like
here.
the Fast and Loud type shows.
Yeah,
Okay.
there I gave it to you. She is a car girl who is also a mechanic, who is also knows how to literally tear an engine apart and put it back together, and paint, and do all sorts of fabrication. And she is hot as shit. And she's a gamer too.
Her face reminds me slightly of Valkyrie's.
Where did you post this?
Oh, in the
Like she has a very similar nose
in
and
our
all of that
notes.
to Valkyrie, which
notes.
is interesting.
Oh.
yeah, and she actually kind of reminds me of what was it? Transformers. What was her name? I always
Megan
forget her name.
Fox.
Megan Fox. She kind of reminds me of Megan Fox.
I don't see it.
A little bit, especially that first picture.
All right. Who's the guy crush?
That's actually a hard one. I don't know.
I'm sure it is.
Probably. Shut the fuck up. Probably. What's Adam Savage? Even though I look like him. But
Oh, from MythBusters?
I would say overall, if you had to do looks and like qualities or whatever, it'd be Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Interesting.
That's not a bad
That's
answer,
fair.
actually.
Yeah. What about you, Aku? Who's your female, and then what guy would you go gay for?
So the female's a toss-up.
And you can't say Emily because you already married her, so that
No, no,
doesn't
no, no,
count.
no. This was also a
He's already
celebrity
tapping that.
specific.
So it's not crushed.
This was also a celebrity specific question, so I don't think that counted either. Anyway,
Fair.
it's a toss-up. It depends on how I'm feeling in the day, but I've always, over the last few years, bounced between Rachel McAdams
Okay.
and Emma Stone.
Okay.
They,
All right.
they both
Ooh,
put
Emma
out
Stone's
really
good.
good movies. They both seem like they have really solid personalities, and they're both very attractive.
All right.
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Oh no, not her.
Absolutely.
No, she's very, very pretty. What
Her face bothers me.
what guy then?
Your face bothers me. A guy, it's probably going to be like your stereotypical answer that everybody sees. Ryan Reynolds, man.
Who?
Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
definitely 100%.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is fantastic.
I changed it to that based off the conversation we just had. But when we were talking about like people whose content's like really, really good and really, really solid, I was originally going to go with Jeffrey Dean Morgan
Okay.
because everything, like, he's just phenomenal actor, and I like all
Yeah.
the stuff that he's in and his general demeanor.
Good old
But-
Daddy Winchester.
Exactly. but going based on the other way you were asking the question, then I'm going there.
Okay. All right. So for me, it's Catherine McNamara as the girl.
Yep,
She's
yep, I
Shadow
remember you
Hunters,
did it.
and she was in
That's
Arrow.
the
The redhead.
Yep.
Yep. She is stunning and also a genius as well. And then the
Who is
guy
it?
would be
Catherine what?
Luke Evans, hands down.
Ooh,
Cat-
that's a good
Cat-
call.
That
Catherine who?
the movie Catherine McNamara.
She's from the later seasons of Arrow.
Yeah, she was Oliver Queen's daughter.
Yeah.
I've showed
Don't
you.
watch that.
I've
I've been
showed
to
you
that
her
show.
before. But then, yeah. So Luke Evans, like every movie I've seen the dude in, has been fantastic. I
Good
am
call.
not even ashamed to admit that I went to go see Beauty and the Beast for him and not Emma Watson. Like as great as Emma Watson is, like
Right, I
they're like,
forgot he was in that.
like I love Gaston as a character. Like the dude's awesome, and then they're like Luke Evans is playing as Gaston. I'm like, oh, I'm going to see that. So
that movie
yeah.
was good though.
yeah, that movie was fantastic. So, and then if we're going more for like comedy, then obviously Robert Downey Jr. All right. So
Did you
now,
see? Did you see the Iron Fist or any of those
No.
other Marvel Netflix?
Yes. Yeah.
The I think her name's Jessica something. The like lady friend that he has is very attractive as well.
gotcha.
But that's the only thing I've ever seen her in. So
That was like years ago. I don't remember it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so last topic that we got here that I want to talk about is potentially big news for everybody in the gaming industry. That is the recent acquisition of Bethesda and its parent company, I forget the name of it, it begins with a Z, I think, by Microsoft. So, for those of you who don't know, Microsoft recently bought it for like $7.5 billion,
yeah.
which
so-
is
Oh, it was
sub-
way more than that.
I'm pretty sure that's
no, it was
exactly what it
7.5
was.
billion. That's pretty
But-
much the exact number.
Yeah, but so what this kind of brings up is some interesting ideas as far as the future of the Xbox. For
Oh,
those
you're
of
right,
you
yeah.
who know me, you know I'm not a fan of an Xbox. There's literally zero reason in today's age to own an Xbox. Like all of the games are on PC, and there's no exclusive good games on the Xbox. You have Forza, which no one cares about. Gran Turismo's better anyway, and is Halo still even relevant? Whereas we got, God of War, we got Horizon Zero Dawn. There are so many, like the list is like just about every single game that's been in the running for Game of the Year for the past, I don't even know how many years, has been an exclusive by PlayStation, whereas Microsoft hasn't had anything. So
Yeah. So
along with the purchase of Bethesda means that the Elder Scrolls, so if there's going to be a sixth Elder Scrolls, that could potentially solely be on Xbox, which is a decently heavy hitter. I don't personally know if they would do that, though, because they would be really, really limiting the actual potential. Like, people on PC would buy it, and people on Xbox would be able to buy it. But, like, the PS5 is going to be huge, and they're taking that entire market and cutting it down in the hopes that they'll sell more Xboxes, which isn't really, I think, a good idea, because I don't think it'll pan out, but we'll see. But then that also includes, I think, Wolfenstein, The Evil Within. There's also, what's the other big one? Doom, the Doom
Honestly,
franchise. So
I'm looking at. I'm not seeing all these other ones that you're speaking of, but they might be a branch of Bethesda that I'm.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Because I'm only seeing like Elder Scrolls and Fallout pretty much. That's all I'm seeing in
yep,
the list.
so Fallout and Elder
So-
Scrolls are the ones by Bethesda, but the other companies that are part of the parent company that was purchased make quite a few other games that are decent. I
Okay.
wouldn't call them massive heavy hitters. They're not, Call of Duty level sales, but they do
Mhm.
well. So
Yeah, so the biggest thing that comes out of this, and you had already touched on it, is the exclusives, right? So a couple buddies of mine had a big talk about this when it came out, and it was mostly about exclusives and that kind of stuff, right? If they have something now that they can make exclusive that they can then take away from PlayStation, it's hit or miss on whether they're going to do it, right? Like you said,
Mhm.
they can do that, and then they run the risk of they're doing a big risk reward trade off of I'm going to make this an exclusive now to Microsoft and to Xbox. So you're going to either buy an Xbox if you really want to play this game, or you're just not going to buy the game.
yeah,
And I think most people would just not buy the game. I don't think people are going to pick up. There's very few times have I seen a game come out that was an exclusive where somebody's like, I'm buying, this console just to play this one game.
yeah,
Normally you're just like, I'm not buying it. It sucks to suck. I'll just miss out on this one. So
yeah.
it'll be
Exactly.
interesting to see how they play it. Although the funniest things coming out of it now are all the memes of Bethesda employees having to get yelled at by Microsoft to release their games complete, and they're all panicking now.
Oh God, yeah. This isn't a bug; it's a feature. Yeah.
Right.
So I definitely
So,
think.
really,
God,
really quick. So just to give you an idea of what studios they actually acquired, it was ID Software, Arcane, Tango GameWorks. So that was like Doom, Quake, Dishonored, Prey,
hmm
Evil Within, which was an awesome game, Monstrosity, and as you said, like Wolfenstein. I just wanted to like
yeah,
get
And
that.
But
so
But they also made like Battletoads and stuff like that. So like it was and
yeah,
Perfect Dark. I didn't even know they made Perfect Dark either.
I
yeah.
forgot about that
So
game. That was solid.
the only really heavy hitters that I could see having an impact from an exclusive standpoint would really be the Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Because Doom's big, but it's nowhere near as big as it used to be. The new game was fantastic. Like I did like an 18-hour playthrough on like one of the hardest difficulties, and the game was fun. But would I buy a system solely for it? No. Quake,
Right.
no one really cared. The game hasn't been relevant in a while. The Evil Within was a really niche game. It was a good game, but again, I don't think it's big enough to actually sway people. And the same thing with like Wolfenstein. Fallout.
I will say the Evil Within was the only game I've ever seen that when you chop someone's arm off at the elbow, it actually gets cut at the elbow.
Yeah, the
It
physics.
doesn't
were
just
good.
have a pre. Yeah, it doesn't just have a pre-made
Like a pre-rendered.
area.
Here's where my limbs
Yeah.
separate animation.
It's like
That's
like
pretty
every
dope.
single inch of the body actually is able to be separated. So
Yeah.
when they built the
Interesting.
characters, they actually put them in chunks.
Yeah, like a lot smaller
So-
chunks, a lot
Yeah.
more meshed up. That's
Mhm.
interesting.
So-
I haven't played honestly any of these games except I think Perfect Dark when that came out a jillion years ago.
Yeah.
It was like
I missed
it's
that
like
game.
a GoldenEye competitor.
Yeah.
Aren't they
So-
making a mobile web version of that to play with your friends?
They might be. That would be cool. That'd be a
No
fun
clue.
game to stream.
I think I remember seeing something like that.
Yeah. But I think when it comes to Microsoft, if they were to make those smaller games like the Doom and Wolfenstein and all of that, Xbox Game Pass exclusive, they would do well. I don't
Yep.
think it would be a good idea, though, to take Fallout and the Elder Scrolls and make them exclusive. They would just miss
what's
out on too
interesting
much
that-
of an audience.
Yeah, what's interesting that now too to think about is like a lot of games aren't made by Microsoft or by Sony, right? There's all these other parties that
Oh, yeah.
are the developers of the games, and when you sell the content, that I have no idea if the console makers get any chunk of that change. I highly doubt it. It wouldn't make any sense that they would. But now, if as Microsoft as the parent company to the console is buying game developers, now as those games sell, they're going to get more money, which is going to be a way to siphon off some dollars from people who own PlayStations.
Yep. Yep. Very possible. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's the next couple of months for gaming are going to be interesting with the new consoles coming out. Though, to be fair, there's not a lot of games being released with the consoles. They're all going to follow after the fact. It's not going to be a huge showing right off the bat.
Yeah, the launch titles aren't as there's not as many as you would think.
It
I
was
would
the
say,
same
but-
thing with the last console release, though. Like when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, like there weren't a lot of good games. Like most of the games that I played when I bought the PS4 were that $10 upgrade to play the PS3 game on the PS4. like COD
Right, and
Ghosts and
that's why I
GTA and so
I
on.
hadn't pre-ordered it. I'm 100% gonna end up with a PS5, but I'm not.
Mhm.
I'm not on the forefront of wanting to get it right away. I mean, I still play PS4 games occasionally downstairs. You know, the wife, like I said in the last podcast, you know, she likes watching me play some
Yeah.
of the Uncharted's and the other stuff. You know, those single player story games that, you know, I don't necessarily really want to play on a stream, right? Because during those cutscenes and stuff is like a good time to interact, but I want to watch the cutscene, right?
Y-
So I feel like that'd be a lot of me just staring at the screen, going,
Yeah. Well, I think
so
us as PC players are really going to
right,
win out the most because we'll have a PlayStation for those titles, and then we'll
yep.
have a PC, and we don't have to worry about buying an ass box for any time soon. So you know it's going to work
I will
great.
say this.
They don't even
The
look
one
like
thing about
X's anymore. Come on.
I know, right? What the heck?
one thing about the PS5 though is they did announce that they're not backward compatible. So
Where did they say
but
that?
No,
Xbox is.
They are. It's not backwards compatible, I
Mm,
think, with the PS1 and 2 and 3, but PS4 games I think are going to be able to be played on it. And let's be fair, who plays a PS1, 2, or 3 games anymore? And if you do, that's what PlayStation Now is for, so you can play those
Okay,
Yeah,
games.
the
yeah, it says
PlayStation Now and the PlayStation Store, they
Yeah.
have a lot of those games remastered and that you can just download digitally.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
PS.
it's
Yeah, you're right. You're
yeah,
right.
and
you can
it's
only
it's a
play
different
PS4
type
games.
of disc reader
That
and a different like BIOS and all that that's needed in order to
that
actually read
situation
that stuff.
came out when they were releasing the PS4 too, and talking about
Yeah.
now backward compatibility to the 3, and people were going to be pissed.
I just don't get that. Like, why? Like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't play this game. Okay, when's the last time you even touched that game? Like,
Well, not even
well, I
that.
played
But
it, you know, okay, well, then just keep the console you have and also get the new one. Like, just keep your PS4 if it's that big of a deal. Like, it's not that big of an issue. Like,
right, right.
I don't understand why we have 4K now and we're trying to play games that are 15 years old. Like, get over yourself. So, I don't know. It's not
I
that
do
big of
have
a
one
deal. Or
question.
just get an emulator on
I-
your PC.
I do have a question that's not really on the list, but it's something
Okay.
that I want to bring up because I know Fate's going to lose his shit. What game in the next month or so are you most looking forward to?
Month or so.
I don't know. There really aren't a lot of games that I could think of off the top of my head coming out that I'm looking
I
forward
know one
to.
for you.
For
I know
me?
exactly what your answer would be.
What?
Comes out Friday.
Well, yeah, this Friday in 2 days, the Star Wars Squadron comes out. I have the VR headset and the Thrustmaster
Yep.
already ready to go, and it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, we're going to be playing that. I can't wait. I always loved like the old like Ace Combat games and all that.
Pod
I
racer.
want to get it, but I can't afford it right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna let you play it for a little bit and decide whether or not I want to pick up another game that I don't have time to play.
Yeah,
Right.
It'll be
I was thinking I might just watch him play it.
there you go.
Because I have the
we'll
VR
get
headset,
Osiris
too,
as
and I
my
think-
co-pilot. We should have named you R2.
There you go.
Dude,
I should have
you'd,
named
like,
you
build,
R2.
like, a little
You're loud
tiny,
as
like,
shit.
chair.
Say-
You'd
the
be like a little
next animal.
chair with like a little thing for him.
Yeah, right. What are you doing?
But if you want me to
Just-
answer the
just strap you
question
right
too,
here.
I
Yeah.
think the most recent game coming, or the most soonest game coming out that it's not really a game. I'm excited for Shadowlands, the WoW expansion coming out at the end of the month,
Yes.
end of next month.
Me too. Me too.
That's gonna be awesome.
All right, so we are going to get bouncing on that one. This has been the second episode of the Falic Exchange with myself, Fate the Tatted Hate, Falic, and Aku. We appreciate you guys listening. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe and like the video. And if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or Stitcher, make sure you guys leave a good review if you guys enjoyed what you heard. And we will see you guys in another 2 weeks for another episode of the Falic Exchange. Have a good one, everybody.